Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Here we are again. The second weekend league of FC 26 brings another massive market crash to this game, but I think it's more than just FUT Champs rewards that is making this crash happen. However, if it's anything like last week, this might be a great time to start picking up some cards. So we're going to talk about investments and buying some players in today's video and hopefully making some profits, again, based on this new pattern that we're learning with the market dropping big over the weekends. But we'll talk again why the market is dropping, and I think a lot of it has to do with this ratings reload team number 1. And also, guys, we have an evolution leak. Evos might be back. With the Evo that we had on Friday being very good, there's another one that's leaked, and Paul Pogba is allegedly going to fit it. We're going to talk about that and more in today's video. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe if you are new. Now, let's cover yesterday's Saturday content, which of course is headlined by the first silver tournament of FC 26. It's max chemistry, solo, and co-op, as we mentioned, and it's very easy to get done. You just need a silver team, but you do need some specific nations on those silver players. You need England, Spain, and France, and you're going to win 4 matches in this event while having those players in your starting 11. This event is out for almost 2 weeks, 12 more days to be exact right now. The packs aren't that crazy, but it's unlimited games and it's very easy, and that is what I do love about it. It's a nice entry, nice warm up into the silver tournaments that we're going to have. Of course, the next silver tournament, which is going to be the World Tour Silver Superstars League that starts in a week from today on Sunday. That is a limited number of games. It's 20 attempts. You're trying to play all of those to get some of those good rewards that we already see in objectives, but also get some very exclusive rewards as well. So this one, the silver one that is out now, is very nice and simple. It actually gives a good Evo too. The silver warm-up Evo is very nice. Keeps your silver card at 74 rated. It gives +2 to the skills and also gives the playstyle technical on a card as well. That's very nice. Max 4 playstyles, max 74 rated. So that's a nice part of the reward that we have there. Of course, we talked about buying silver cards. In the last couple of days, we've been buying these, and I mentioned in yesterday's video maybe selling these silvers into the hype and not wait till after the content drop for this. And if you did, you probably made a few more coins. The George card here, Chelsea silver, was up to 2.8k pre-tournament dropping, ended up going down afterwards just a little bit. I mean, we're talking silvers here, so it's not a lot of coins, but if you were able to sell some of these cards yesterday at a profit either before or after the actual tournament or warm-up mode released, you are very happy with that. I think Silas was another one, especially with the specific nation requirements. Some of these cards, like Silas, went from 7.5k and back down a little bit just because, you know, he was still used for sure in the silver tournament and people were buying him for teams, but maybe a little bit less because of those specific requirements. But I am a fan of that silver mode, and I'm looking forward to playing it myself this weekend still, even today on stream. Now, let's go to evolutions. We had 2 cosmetic Evos released yesterday, which we can quickly go over. It was the classic arrow spin, which is 10,000 coins to do, and then red fire. They like these fire, cosmetics this year. There was one in objectives. Here's one red fire here in cosmetics. Now, the real Evo that was dropped yesterday was the striker debut, max 82 overall. This is very similar to the ball distributor Evo that we had released on Friday. It just gives +3 shot power, 4 finishing, and 3 attack positioning, and it does not boost the overall. So we like this because this gives you a chance to boost the rating of a card. Maybe you do put this on a silver. By the way, this could be a great Evo you put on a silver card, or it could be an Evo for somebody like this. Again, you just got to look for the specific player and look at what stats they already have, because for Amora here, it only gives him +3 shot power. And sure, it's free and it's easy to do, but is that worth it for you? That's the real key when you look through some of these Evos. Do you want to put this on Pogba? Because it gives him +4 finishing, +3 attack positioning, and it does not boost his overall rating. Maybe there's going to be some chains that are out there with this Evo and the Evo that is upcoming today on Sunday with some of those midfielders. So that's the way I would use this one, or like we kind of mentioned already, use it on a silver card that then you could boost the stats of and use even better in those silver tournaments. Now, let's go to SBC, where we didn't get the hero player pick yesterday, but we still had a player pick, and it was the ratings reload player pick, duo pick number 1. And this is, of course, between Semenyo and Bakayoko. And guys, the price on this is phenomenal. Like, that Semenyo card looks very good for as cheap as this is. Bakayoko looks great as well. 5-star weak foot on the Semenyo card. And I forget what the skills in weak foot are for Bakayoko, but nonetheless, 82, 82, 83, and 84. Lower rated fodder goes perfectly into this. You also get the Patrick Schick. No matter which one you want to pick at the end, you get the Patrick Schick card too, which is nice. You're getting basically 2 cards here, and they added in Schick, which is kind of like if you go Bundesliga with Bakayoko, then it's like, wow, you have a link there. But I think for a lot of people, this Semenyo is the move. Low-driven aerial fortress, long throw, and enforcer, a very unique set of playstyles on this card. But really what I see this as is future Evo potential, and for the here and now, for tomorrow when the gauntlet drops, this is a very cheap SBC to get in a gauntlet side with the weak foot, as we mentioned once again. He's at least got inside forward plus at right mid and left mid, and then he's got winger plus plus at right wing too. So, not a terrible card. If you've got the low rated fodder to go ahead and put this into this and get it done, I think that is a good SBC, especially as I mentioned for the gauntlet. Now, the other SBC we had yesterday was Ratings Reload Challenge number 1 for a small rare mixed players pack. It is one simple squad to get done, 70 rated max, pretty easy to do for a tradable pack there. So that was all of yesterday's content. It wasn't that crazy of a day. Maybe one of the craziest parts of the day actually was getting into the conversation of the market crash, because we did have a little bit of content in the store, and this has to be mentioned as part of the reason why the market is dropping. They dropped an 83 plus player pick, 1 of 4 player pick tradable in the store. It is 25,000 coins. And guys, the pack odds, you look in here, you get a 1% chance of a team of the week and a 4.4% chance of a ratings reload. And you got a 36% chance of a walkout. It's tradable. And, an 83 plus pick, you're probably seeing a lot of 83s and 84s. And granted, there still are a lot of those cards that sell for a good bit right now. But the market, as we have seen the last 2 weekends now, absolutely got cooked. Let's just start taking a look at some of the footbench graphs and talk about why this is happening. Take a look at Claudia Pina, right? 61,000 coins, rose up a little bit. We did have that little bit of a market rise into Saturday morning, as I was hoping that we would have, not on all cards, but on some of them. And then, of course, the big crash happened. Like example, for myself, in yesterday's video, I'd mentioned I bought a bunch of Frimpongs. I bought a whole bunch of Frimpongs, like 20 of them for 22,000 coins, sold them between 26 and 27K, was very happy with that profit. It was ended up being like 50,000 coins after tax. Total that we made 50 to 60K. So nothing super crazy, but you had that nice market rise, and then you get a couple hours before content and people start selling their cards because they know what is going to happen. New content's going to be released, and of course, more and more FUT Champs rewards get opened, and you just have this big crash from 61K on Claudia Pina down to 40,000 coins, and that's just the beginning of things. We look around the rest of the market, player prices, they just everywhere, like expensive cards, cheap cards, just absolutely got destroyed once again yesterday. But as I mentioned, I think it's more than just the supply. I think it's more than just the FUT Champs rewards that we had and those 83 plus player picks in the store. I think this week's market crash was also influenced by the fact that the promo cards that we have right now in this game look as good as they do, and they're decently affordable. Like, come on now. We are getting to the stage of the game where gold cards, they're not as cool as they used to be. We've been using gold cards now for almost a month, and a lot of us are looking to upgrade to these promo versions, whether it's the SBCs like the Articular or the Semenyo. Evos, well, they don't really get into our main teams, but some of these promo cards, if you have the option right now, if you're not a Spurs or an Arsenal fan and that whole thing does not matter to you, if you're like, man, I need a Prem center back, are you going to go buy Saliba or are you going to buy Coutinho Romero? Saliba has good playstyle pluses, right? He got the Anticipate Plus, got good playstyles, great card in game, but Coutinho Romero has a dynamic image and a cool looking card, and if that makes your team stick out amongst the rest, like especially a card like Oscar Bob would right now, if you're going to go spend 70 to 80K on a winger, are you going to try this new Oscar Bob that everybody's talking about, or are you just going to go buy Gold Rodrigo? You're going to buy the new cool looking card, right? I think that is one of the reasons why the market's dropping off as much as it is this weekend too. So you couple all those things together with, gold cards going out of style a little bit, got the new cards in this team being affordable, plus the FUT Champs rewards and that store pack supply, and just not a lot of people buying on Saturdays, you get a market that drops off as much as this one did. Now, as we mentioned, this is kind of the new schedule that we've started to see with the market now 2 weekends in a row of FUT Champs. If we go back to last week and we kind of look at the graphs, it doesn't even show it all the way. No, it does right here. Yeah, 1 week ago. This isn't 2 weeks ago. Last weekend, Rafael Leao was 57,000 coins. We dropped off into Saturday, had a little bit of a rise in the morning. Oh yeah, just like yesterday. And then on Saturday, prices tanked once again. But what we learned from last week was the market rose very well from Sunday into the rest of the week. Now, this was a combination of content being slow last week on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course, prices dropping so much on the weekend. It looks like that may be the same scenario this weekend as well. People are already investing for this, myself included. I've got over 1 million of my coins invested right now into some of these cards because I'm expecting to see a bit of a rise today on Sunday. And then hopefully, if this is, a time for you to buy a team, this is actually a really good opportunity. If the market plays out like it did last week, this could be a really good opportunity to buy cards for your team and then use them throughout the week. If this is going to be a weekly trend, and of course, it's probably going to be different every single week to some degree, but if the content does get a little slow on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even into Thursday after Division Rivals rewards, you have a really nice window where you could buy on Sunday, late Saturday night, early Sunday, and you could hold that team, hold those players, and really not expect to lose too many coins until we get to the next weekend when all of the crazy movements happen, all the price drops happen. So that is kind of the thing that we're starting to see with the market. This is the same situation that happened last week, which is why we are invested this week. As you can see here on my transfer list and transfer targets, what I've gone for are meta gold cards out of packs. Some of these cards, Trinity Rodman for 24,000 coins when she was 36 and she's not in packs. These are one of my favorite cards to trade with Squad Battle rewards each week, the out of packs golds. Same thing with Alvarez, right? He's got a promo card in the team. He's La Liga links. A lot of people with Arda Güler need La Liga links. And then I picked up a couple of promo cards as well. I wish I would have bought more Oscar Bob at this price because he's now more than 60k, 67,000 coins. I got in with perfect timing there. But I also picked up 2 Ekitikes for 276,000 coins because last week, if you look at the Cornerstones team too, a lot of the middle tier and lower tier cards, like remember Stiller last week on this very day, Sunday morning was 25,000 coins. He rose up to 30 during the rest of the day on Sunday, right here, 25k, went up to 30k, but then look what happened Monday, boom, up to 40, and then even all the way into Wednesday, 51,000 coins, because he was one of the most hype promo cards in the current team. This team, I think, is better than Cornerstones, more meta, more popular, bigger stat boost. I guess that means more meta. I just said the same thing twice. But I just think this promo team has a lot of potential for the reasons that we talked about before as well. People are very interested in them. Pau Kubarsi, under 100K. Bob for low 60s, mid 60s. Tovan. Don't sleep on this guy, man. If Pogba's going to go into this evo today and become super hyped, I mean, he's a French cheap striker center attacking mid with ridiculous stats for 15k. That's a card, honestly, to buy one of and put in your club. And then even some of the middle tier cards like Romero, he's already up in price. So, you got to be a little careful when you're buying these cards and also try to think about, well, content today. Maybe a center mid evo's incoming. A lot of people are really excited for that. You see Cuti Romero's from 49,000 coins already up to 56. If the cards are up a lot, you probably don't want to buy. But if the cards are not up that much and there's no crazy new leaks that are coming out for content in the next, today on Sunday, besides the Evo, then you're probably pretty safe to get in early today with Squad Battle rewards. Look for a little bit of that supply today with this rewards period to be a good opportunity to get on bids, especially for the gold cards. Like, I didn't play any Squad Battles this week, so I'm not getting any rewards. That's not a good thing, to be completely honest, but I know a lot of people have. The game is full out in swing now for the last couple of weeks, and Squad Battle rewards have been cooking, so getting on bids and getting on snipes for those sorts of cards is the way to go. And I've got 356,000 coins left, so what I'm going to do before I go to sleep here in a little bit is I'm going to look around the market because Rodman's already going back up. People are starting to wake up. They're starting to see these prices, and they're starting to buy these items. I'm going to look around the market and try to find some players that still look low enough to me to get involved in, and then probably just be fully invested for a hopeful rewards rise today. But like I mentioned as well, hopefully we see a rise today. But also, if you want to keep holding, I think you can keep holding as well. We'll have to see what content we get throughout the rest of the week, but that's just kind of my feeling about the market right now, and what cards that you could buy. Just again, actually, if you're on a cheaper budget, I want to shout this really fast. If you're on a lower budget, like this card, Shuameni, I know that we have potentially a center mid CDM Evo coming today, but some of these cards that are like 5 to 10K, you don't have to be on hundreds of thousands of coins to get invested here. Shuameni last week on Sunday was 7,000 coins. He went to 10K by Wednesday. He's 5K right now, and he links to Arda Güler. He can play center back, and it's just Shuameni. Like, that's a popular card that people are going to want to buy, and he's down to 5.4K. That's a card that I would look at. Also for like 4 to 5K is this Ekitike. Remember, we've got the Gauntlet this week, which means some people may be buying cheaper cards for teams once we get tomorrow on Monday rolling around and we get these gauntlet squads needing to be built. I think that's something to watch as well. Last thing to mention with rewards today in the market is fodder. 88 rateds are 13,000 coins again. 87s are about 11K. 85s and 86s, if you can snag these on bid, be my guest. I mean, let's see, did they drop off a whole lot yesterday? Fodder looks like, yeah, fodder barely did, like 4.2K down to 3.8. So yeah, sure, they are down a little bit, but of course, overall fodder is still up a little bit, but you of course saw that it went higher last week. It all depends on the SBCs that we get throughout the rest of this week. But of course, people are crafting now on some of those SBCs like the Pulisic, like the Erling Haaland. And if we do get another hero pack or pick this week, that would be the main source of demand for fodder, in my opinion. So 84s all the way up to 87s, I think would be good. 88s, 89s, and 90s, I mean, they're still there, and you still can get on bids for them and make some profits. But again, what big SBC, unless we have an icon pack that is leaked, that would be the big thing this week that would really change things up. If they change this from a hero to an icon, then things would go pretty crazy in the market, I think, for fodder of the higher rated, because I think that'd be more expensive. But until we see rumors of that, I would stick to that middle tier of fodder just to be the safest. So again, last thing, I kind of already mentioned it, but just to make it really clear, some of these cards I'm going to hopefully sell today. If Oscar Babu is his cheapest today at 60K and he never goes below that, but I sell him for like 75, I'll be happy with that, because that gets me more coins to go out on the market and to keep trading. But some of these cards, like for Alvarez and Rodman, I might just keep them on my transfer list for the whole entire week so that they can continue to rise, especially because they're out of pack. So sell window is as early as today at content, later in the night on Sunday, or hold that team, hold those players you bought into the week. Should be a decently safe time to hold. We'll, of course, keep things updated with content like this, though, to see if that does move the market a bit more. Let's talk about this Evo, guys. Evolutions are back, Foot Police is saying, and there's other Twitter guys out there that are saying this Evo looks pretty good. This looks to be the second iteration of the Max 80 Evos. We just had one on Friday, right? If you remember, it is the Max 80 center back evolution that creates some really insane players. It's only 10,000 coins, and it feels like a real Evo when you take a look at the boost that you get from this one. Now, this is a center back Evo. Here's a center mid CDM and cam Evo. Well, what's next? Probably a striker or an attacker one, right? We'll get to that when it comes. But for here and now, we've got a center mid Evo. Great for one team RTGs. He says same model as a center back one. Big stats upgrade. You get long ball and tiki taka. Nice play styles. Max 4 regular play styles must not be a silver icon. He says here that these pictures are just a prediction. He does not know the upgrade limits. Let's be honest. There's no way Paul Pogba is getting plus 16 pace or whatever he needs, plus 12 to get up to 80 pace, guys. I think that's a bit of cap. He's probably making this image a little bit better than it needs to be for, you know, just the hype of this evolution. But it's also hype regardless of that picture, because we know that this Evo is really hype, and he's comparing this one to what this new one is going to be. Now, the question is who's going to fit, right? It's max 80 rated, so obviously CC does not fit, but look at like Okafor fits. Okafor with 86 pace, 80 dribble, and 80 shooting. He fits this evolution. A couple other cards like Esteval. Esteval fits this Evo as a center attacking mid with 90 pace, so there's not a pace requirement, but like, that's going to be a serious card if he can get above 80 shooting, if he can get into the 80s in passing, get long ball, and get tiki taka. I mean, I don't know what playstyles he has on his card just for starters, but like, that's going to be a pretty serious card. Like this Fermin as well is an investment that we actually talked about buying on Friday in the stream. If you were there, this is a good club stocking inform we talked about because he was dropping. Well, here's our potential to see Fermin actually go up a bit today. Other players like the Paul Pogba, of course, very hyped for this Evo. He's already up. He was 1,400 coins, and now he's 3,300. Guys, sell in the hype for almost all of these cards. Of course, there were cards for the backline Glow Evo, like Amadou, that went crazy. They went absolutely... Agbadou, that's his name. Agbadou went crazy for this evolution and went up in price. He's still 4,000 coins. But that's one of the very few cards that went up for the center back Evo. I think for the center mid one, since it's been invested in ahead of time and people are talking about it a lot more, probably selling the hype. But it does look good. Matisse Tell fits this. He's already got great stats as a 77 rated, and he's going to fit this evolution and become more of a center attacking mid. Yildiz fits this Evo. Be careful with the inform Yildiz. That would be what I'd say. If you have that card, he could drop if this Evo looks pretty good. So the hype is there for this evolution. We'll just have to see how big of a boost it is. And if this gave us any indication on how good the boost for this Evo could be, I mean, you're taking a look at cards here like this Demiral, who goes to 84 defense and 83 physical, and he gets up to 78 pace, right? And you have a lot of the stat limits being in the low to mid 80s on these cards. 85 or 84 defending was the max there, 80 acceleration and sprint speed. We got reactions, balance, composure that are getting upgraded, which is nice. You got jumping that's getting stamina. So if a lot of the stat limits are in the low to mid 80s and we're getting 84 pass, 83 shooting, the pace on some cards is already there, 84, 85 dribbling, and maybe there's a dribbling max, maybe there's not. This could be a really, really good Evo. So I got to start looking at my club and get prepared for what players that I would like to put into that. Just remember, it is max 80 rated. Max 80 rated. So there are some cards that fit. Actually, this Fermin wouldn't. I don't know why he's showing Fermin here. I guess he's saying the gold Fermin that just clocked. But this card is up in price because he was like 16K. Anyway, whenever this guy's like 15, just chuck one in the club. Get him on bid. That's a good Evo investment for the future. I guess he's saying gold for me though. I don't know, man. Just be careful with those cards that get invested in before this evolution because I would sell them in the hype, and there'll be like one or two maybe that actually go up like Agbadou did to our point there. But just be careful and selling the hype with those. And today during Squad Battle Rewards would be a great time to get on bids for some of those players as well. Now, the rest of Sunday content today, of course, we're expecting an SBC player. Maybe it's Mateta, maybe it's Bethune, maybe it's Agurd or Gay as a player pick once again. And we've got Juf, we've got Sule that are out there still as potential cards incoming. And we still have the hero player pick. We did not get that yesterday, of course. Guti, Bomb Pastor, and Popin. This could be a part of today's content too, which would help the fodder, I would assume, a little bit. I think a lot of people would like Guti as a card in their team. So that's kind of the content for today on Sunday. I don't even know if there's SBCs that are refreshing. I just did the 80 plus times 5, which I believe refreshed yesterday. Yeah, the refresh timer was broken. So this one is not going to refresh. It's going to expire and then get replaced, I think. Or we'll be able to do it one more time on Monday. Expires in 2 days. So we may be able to do that on Monday still. The Prime Silver Players Packs refreshed with the Silvers yesterday. The Prime Gold Players Packs refreshed as well. Let's open those actually to end the video here real fast. And then I got to go spend 356,000 coins on something that we can find in the market. Can we pack... Is the face card a 74? Great. Can we get like a... I don't know, something that sells for like 2,000 or 3,000 coins in here? Hubers... Nope, I don't think we got anything really that sells too much. But we got an Argentine, and I got any Spanish players? I need Spanish. Okay, no Spanish. Well, maybe Hubers will sell. Let me check his price real fast. Do you sell, brother? Not really. 350 coins. Okay, well, those go to the club. And then let's open this 80 plus times 5. No promo cards yet for me for ratings reload. Walk me out, EA Sports. Center attacking mid. Bruno Fernandez. That is actually a dupe. I will take that. We love the fodder. That's going boom straight to the Harry Kane SBC. He's the next one we're going to do. Anything else hiding in behind? Jeremy Frimpong. I had 20 of them on my transfer list. We got one of them in a pack right here. Bang. Let's go. Transfer list theory right there. I'll take the walkout. I'll take the Frimpong. I mean, he's still only 20,000 coins, but that is a great player to have for the club. I have Alex Scott, and she is insane. I don't know if Frimpong is going to get in over Alex Scott. I've got too much Liverpool in my team right now, to be completely honest. But that Frimpong is absolutely going to make it into a gauntlet squad with the rest of the teams that we'll have to build with that. So that was fun. That was a nice pull. But guys, I'm going to get on the market. I think you guys have an opportunity to do so as well today. So make sure you get out there, get some buys going, get on bids, get on snipes, and yeah, do some research and think about which cards you think will rise the most. Remember, La Liga is very hyped right now. Be careful with midfielders because of that evolution, just in case. Other than that, right backs and left backs should be very good too, even in the lower budgets. Don't sleep on 10K and below cards. They still move a lot in this market as well. But that's going to be the video for me today. Drop a thumbs up on it if you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you had any questions. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in Sunday's stream today for Foot Champs, for the Silver Tournament, and for making some freaking coins. Have a great Sunday, guys. It's been TheFutAccountant. Catch you later. Peace out.